Good morning, Melbourne. Chrissy Swan, Sampang and Jonathan Brown on Nova. This is going to be interesting.
Brett Stevens, a former police officer and photojournalist, and now he's written a book called A Hard Place, The Rise of the Street Gangs. I think Chrissy is going to love this one. Anyway, here's Brett.
Oh, Swanee, you will absolutely love it. We've got this magnificent man beside us, Brett Stevens, and I'm a fair way into this book, A Hard Place, The Rise of the Street Gangs. It's unbelievable. Brett, how are you, mate?
G'day, mate.
Tell us about it, because we can relate to this in this city. Sam Pang often makes jokes about the Apex gang, but the rise of gangs in Australia, it's a new phenomenon.
You know, 20 years ago, here I was in Los Angeles, standing there with the LAPD guys, and they're saying to me, hey, do you have gangs in Australia? And I'm saying, well, you know, sort of, but nothing like here. They go, oh, don't worry. They're going to come. They're like cockroaches. They'll be everywhere soon. And
so what is it? What's happened to society that all of a sudden we need gangs? I mean, we've always had sort of Hell's Angels, but that's not the same, is it?
No, it's at the end of the story, it's 100% to do with the drug trade, right? So, you know, so they're producing product in all these cartels. They've got product, but how do they get it to market? In Japan, they can't get it to market. Australia, they've got it to market. And that's how Australia and America are in the top 10 for every single drug per capita of use, cocaine through to heroin, you know, in the world. So of 130 countries, we're in the top 10. I mean, wow, little old Australia. And how did that happen?
Strangely proud, Brett. Put a medal on it.
Oh, yeah, put a medal on it.
I mean, look, whatever it takes to win.
But you say Japan. When you say Japan can't get it to market, what does that mean? Why can't they get it to market?
Well, so firstly, they just don't have the street gang orientation to get it out there. And what I saw in LA was that it came from Latin America. So this massive sort of population explosion in Latin America. At the same time, you had the cartels producing product, right? All this cocaine and everything else they produce. How do we get it there? And they came in on the backs of all these communities. So if you look at it, every community in the world is a peaceful majority, but they're all owned by a violent minority. But in China, it's not too violent, right? Japan, not violent at all.
No.
But Sudan, yeah, and El Salvador, they're extremely violent, right? And they're violent because they've got territories, and they've already learned. You own a territory, so your neighbourhood where you live, that's worth something. People produce money out of your neighbourhood, and so you've got to be very strong and basically vicious to defend that neighbourhood, because that turns you over your money.
And is that the same sort of infrastructure that's happening here in Australia? Yeah,
so guys like from Sudan and that, I mean, as I said, most of them are peaceful, but their violent minority, let's face it, what have they faced? They are going to be ruthless.
Yeah.
You know? So, and they have to be a gang, and that's why the Mongols are looking at the Apex going, hey, yeah, come and join us, you know. So what happens, they work on the street, they get the drugs into the school. So
what are the Mongols?
Yeah, well, they're the bikies, but is that why the street gangs are potentially more powerful, because they're probably younger? Street gangs are younger, and they can get it into the schools, more powerful than the bikies potentially?
Well, they end up, so the bikies are organising bringing product in, but it's the street gangs that get it out into the communities, and it's usually with the kids, you know, and that's where it started in LA. They're in the high schools with kids. So you've got to be 15 or 16. Bikies can't walk in high school and go, here, boys, you know.
Hey, what about the legalisation? You mentioned before the legalisation of drugs, or it's a massive drug issue. Where do you stand on the legalisation of drugs? You've seen a lot that happens around the world. Do we need it to happen to help get rid of this drug culture?
Well, it's starting sort of to happen anyway. Now, what I say is, just have a look at America. 8 states in America are now legalised marijuana.
Yeah.
Okay. So the government will actually make money off that, because it's a $41 billion industry. Yeah. So instead of the cartels from Mexico and et cetera making, $20 billion out of that, well, guess what? Some local producer is going to make that. Or even have people in Mexico and that grow it, even the cartels, why not? And have them ship it in, but legally, and everyone makes tax, because this whole prohibition on drugs is even destroying communities in Mexico and El Salvador, where you've got murder rates per million of like 900 or 1,000 people.
Yes, it's crazy over there.
Crazy.
Most dangerous city in the world.
But having said that, you go to Yucatan, there's only like 5 people killed per million, less than Australia.
One more?
Well, I suppose where do you stop?
Just one more question. Yeah. So is the answer to all of this to legalise all sorts of drugs?
It may be part. It may be like marijuana, cocaine, ecstasy, which are, lower sort of tier.
The gangs would not want that, would they?
No.
They're out of business.
No, absolutely. It's their business.
This is so interesting. I don't want to wrap it up, but the book from Brett Stevens is A Hard Place, The Rise of Street Gangs. It's available in stores and online now. Thanks for coming in.
No worries, mate.
Chrissy, Sam and Brownie.